someone to care.
Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another Under Fire review. I'm your host, Zachary Pickett, and this week I'm reviewing To Be Loved, the latest release from Michael Buble. The first thing I want to say is, it's kind of hard to refute the style that Michael Buble has. It's clearly rooted in the past, yet he still holds the swagger of a contemporary artist, and I think it's this unique mix of the two that distinguishes him from the rest of the music industry. And I have to say, it's never more evident than on his latest release, To Be Loved. And for a little background information, this album was released on April 22nd, 2013, and I gotta say, it's actually pretty interesting. For starters, this album absolutely oozes style. It is an updated version of the 1920s and 30s style big band sound, mixed with a little classic and contemporary R&B, a little bit of doo-wop, and every now and then contemporary pop sounds. All these help drive home the album's messages of love and sets a very special tone for the album that paints pictures in your head of this classic era and the great bandstands and artists who came before. And I think that's something that's very special about this album that I haven't seen done in a while. But I will have to say that not everyone will exactly latch on to this style at first, and if you're not a Michael Buble fan, it's very different than what some people may be used to. But I will say, the cuts on this album may require multiple listens through because you may not like it the first time around. Moving on to the production of the album, in the words of Ben Yahtzee Crosshall, the production is tighter than a walnut corset. I have to give big ups to the album's lead producer Bob Rock and his team because they did an absolutely phenomenal job. The pianos, the violins, the other various live instruments, the amazing backup vocals, the guest appearances by artists such as Bryan Adams, Reese Witherspoon, the Puffington Sisters, and any other I may have forgotten, all blend together with the usual high standards of Michael Buble's vocals, creating this very nice sound that leaves room for a lot of variation and experimentation, and this works. And I think it's the variation that saved this album too from just being another stand-on-the-shelf album. And as always, Michael Buble's vocals are just purely amazing. The range and ability he has with his voice is absolutely phenomenal, and it clearly shows here. There's also a bunch of little various tricks and surprises the album has, but I won't spoil them for you here. I want you to get a chance to check them out on your own and truly appreciate what they actually are. But with even all the things the album does right, there's still one huge major flaw that the album has, and it comes in the form of originality. For those of you who don't know, the album has not one, not two, but 10 cover songs and only 4 original tracks. Personally, I would have liked to see more original compositions because when Michael Buble does do originals, they're actually pretty good. And the other problem is that the original compositions are clear standouts from the rest of the album because they sound and feel different than the rest. This may disjoint some people, and there may be some people like me who wanted a little bit more originality with the album. Also, there are times when Michael Buble is trying to force his voice into ranges he can't quite reach, and it creates this really disharmonious sound that can get to you at sometimes, but it doesn't just kill it. But in the end, I will give this album a very solid 4 out of 5 and a high recommendation to buy the album. I will recommend this album for the grown and sexy and Michael Buble fans, but for everybody else, I say give it a shot. You may like it. So in the description below will be a link to where you can purchase the album, and as always, thank you all for watching, and next week's review will be a little bit of a surprise.